Once plunger is removed and bore is clear, you should completely remove the gland nut from the stuffing box in order to take the old packing out. Use your hands to unscrew it, to avoid dropping the nut and damaging the threads. Now that there's no obstruction, you should use a packing pusher and a hammer to remove the old packing from the bore. To do so, place the packing pusher in the shouldered edge of the junk ring and gently tap the packing pusher with a hammer until all of the packing assembly is out of the bore. Clean the hole properly to remove all dirt and debris, and inspect bore for damage. Packing assembly is comprised of junk ring or sand ring, header ring, 2 pressure rings, and a lantern ring, also referred to as brass. On the lantern ring, you have the O-ring and the wiper ring. The complete assembly is known as hard packing. However, header ring, pressure rings, O-ring, and wiper ring put together are generally called soft packing. To install the wiper ring and the lantern ring, double check and make sure the wiper seal lip faces in towards the inside of the fluid end. If the lip is backwards, grease will leak past the seal and packing will not receive enough grease. When installing the O-ring on the lantern ring, install it from the flat face, as the grooved face of the lantern ring is sharp and can damage the O-ring. Use clean motor oil to thoroughly oil each piece before installing. Do not use grease to lubricate the pieces, as grease gets dirty in the field. Also, excess grease buildup between pieces prevents packing from setting properly in the bore and causes premature failure. The first ring that goes in is the junk ring. The junk ring has a shouldered edge on the inside, which faces towards the inside of the fluid end. The next ring is what is called the header ring. The header ring is a thick black ring that has a flat edge that faces towards the inside of the fluid end. Next are the 2 pressure rings. Install these rings one at a time. Pressure rings are a lot harder to put in because these rings are what seals the pressure inside the fluid end. Do not rub or grind the sharp edge of the pressure ring to make it go into the bore easier, and refrain from using tools to tap the packing into the hole. This will shorten the life of the packing. Last ring that goes in the hole is the lantern ring. The holes on the lantern ring go into the fluid end first and should line up with the holes in the stuffing box. This is where the packing grease filters through to lubricate the plunger and the packing. Generously oil the gland nut threads and screw the nut in the stuffing box. Tighten the gland nut into the stuffing box until it's hand tight. Use the packing bar to screw the nut in until it's snug and packing is set in the fluid end. Once packing is set, use the packing bar to loosen the nut. Now you have to hand tighten the nut again and make a mark at 12 o'clock on the nut and the stuffing box. This mark will be used to reset the packing once plunger is in the bore. Once marked, loosen the gland nut 3/4 of a turn. Prior to plunger installation, we have to make sure lubrication system functions properly and delivers grease to the packing. To do so, switch the pump on and run the greaser on manual. Verify that there is grease flowing into the bore through the lantern ring. Lubricate the plunger with oil and carefully slide it into the fluid end until it butts up to the packing assembly. Use a plunger pusher to push the plunger into the packing and out through the gland nut until it makes contact with the pony rod. The following picture illustrates how the plunger sits in the packing assembly once properly installed. After plunger is installed, return to the packing nut. Use the packing bar to tighten the nuts until the marks on the gland nut and the stuffing box align. Clamps are used to connect the plunger to the pony rod. The 2 lips on the clamps are of different lengths. The longer lip sits on the pony rod and the shorter lip sits on the plunger. Ensure bolts and clamps are properly cleaned with no visual damage present. Screw the bolts in evenly until snug. Once installed, Roll the head a full pump cycle to ensure the clamps are properly installed. Secure the gland nut using the available locking mechanism to prevent it from backing out.